Environmental Policy Recommendation. Introduction. The environment remains the critical aspect every policymaker should focus on, and ensuring its safety is the priority for every living creature. In the recent past, environmental degradation has increased, which has led to various governments and even private organizations forming environmental policies concerning the effects of human activities on the environment. Thus, as the Climate Action Council (CAC) advisory panel member, I will represent the policy recommendation that may come out of the groups with the relevant reasons to identify and explain challenges and obstacles associated with the recommended policies. Therefore, forming appropriate policy recommendations can be vital to dealing with continuous environmental degradation and determining the significant challenges and relevant solutions to environmental issues. Policy recommendations. Some policy recommendations emerge from the group, which may be essential in protecting the environment. One significant recommendation that came out of the group is eliminating obstacles to large-scale siting of renewables, such as solar and wind, and integrating distributed energy resources, such as solar, wind, individuals' homes, and the grid. This means that policymakers should base their ideas on eliminating obstacles to large-scale renewables. In modern society, the environmental agencies are encouraging households to turn to renewable energy to reduce environmental pollution, which has induced climate change. Even though solar energy is perceived to be environmentally friendly, only 10% has been used for electricity generation, which means many rely on natural gas, coal, and nuclear power. This means that renewable energy still faces significant obstacles, such as SIDAN transmission. Some areas result from new technologies, and others result from a lack of significant policies that offer relevant support for large-scale renewable energy. The existence of obstacles to renewable energy means that many people and organizations are built around non-renewable energy, which is continuously degrading the environment. The provided recommendation means that policymakers need to develop policies that can deal with the prevailing obstacles of renewable energy to protect the environment. Additionally, the policy intends to prevent further degradation of the environment and deal with significant pollutants such as natural gas and coal. To deal with such pollutants, the policy needs to be implemented to ensure that the stakeholders and the agencies can provide enough resources to boost renewable energy. It means all the barriers towards the use of renewable energy need to be dealt with to enlighten society on the use of renewable energy to save the environment from further pollution. Therefore, the available resources should be put in place. Furthermore, the policymakers need to be fully supported by the relevant agencies, such as the Ministry of Environment, to eliminate the existing and projected obstacles that will prevent the full implementation of renewable energy sources. Renewable energy sources are considered environmentally friendly. If the policy fully protects the process of initiating renewable energy, it will also inform the community of the importance of using renewable energy. Why/reasons for recommendations. Considering the rate at which GHG emissions are increasing, the recommended policy can help deal with the rising cases of environmental degradation by adopting renewable energy. The recommendation can shed light on the essential solution to the problem. The relevant agency can now focus on renewable energy that can provide people with safe energy. For instance, advocating for clean energy will be associated with the local governments initiating the Climate Change Adaptation (CCA) programs and the campaigns at the community level that can help access pure energy products and services. CCA programs are connected to the Climate and Community Leaders Protection Act (CLCPA) goals, which are essential in monitoring the environment. Besides, such a recommendation can provide the local government with a clear path forward to implement actions that significantly affect the issue. Lastly, it can be easy for the proposed policies to be adopted and applied to the relevant agencies. Challenges and obstacles. Some relevant challenges and obstacles can prevent adopting the policy recommendations on environmental protection. Firstly, a lack of sufficient resources for the implementation process is an identified challenge. Implementing the recommended policy requires experts who can read and initiate the implementation process for the procedure, and these require considerable resources to facilitate the activities. Therefore, it will be uneasy for the policy to be considered or put into use with such challenges, even though it may benefit the agencies and communities. Secondly, the implementation process of the recommended policies may take longer, hence, it may not apply to the rising GHG emissions and other activities that affect the atmosphere. As it is now, the policies to protect the environment are required in the shortest time possible, which may not be easy because the proposed policies will go through the relevant process before they are mutually accepted and put into use. Lastly, opposition from the primary stakeholders can be another challenge to the proposed policy recommendations. In various environmental agencies, some significant stakeholders are responsible for making policies regarding the environment. Therefore, coming up with the policy recommendations may not be positively welcomed because they will feel invaded. Thus, the policies may be rejected on arrival, making it difficult for them to be passed. Conclusion: the environment remains the essential focus among various agencies across the world. Without proper protection of the environment, life will be useless. For these reasons, the identified policy recommendations can be essential to boost the available policies to ensure proper protection of the environment and the disadvantaged communities. Even though the recommended guidelines are good if applied, they may face some obstacles that still leave the environment at risk because of the proper protocol that may be required during the implementation process. Therefore, I recommend that policies are essential and need to be adopted hastily by the relevant agencies to boost environmental protection.